My video for January the 8th, 2020 is video number 3329. The title is There Are No Religious or Political Solutions. I've been making my daily videos for almost 9 full years at this point. I've been involved in both spiritual and political groups trying to make positive changes that will deliver humanity from the beast of corporate control and the liars that operate that system, or the system I have written. Unfortunately, we have a creator that takes zero responsibility for creation. If God exists at all, he or she may as well be dead. Certainly, it's obvious that God is not loving or caring. Just look at this goddamned world. Everything is inverted, making evil good and trying to convince us that lies are truth. Can we not see that the corporate world is the enemy of life? Do we have any discernment left? Are we incapable of any thought that is outside the parameters of what the deep state wants us to believe? People have told me for a long time that we simply have to stop complying with them, since we far outnumber the established elite, as if it's even possible for us to get on the same page somehow, joining together in some mass revolt. Does that mean we go to war? Isn't war their game? Do they? I have no want instead of not want. I didn't see that before. Do they not want to get rid of the majority of humanity as they plainly stated on the Georgia Guidestones? Frankly, I am feeling increasingly hopeless. Oh my goodness. All of my life, since I was a boy, I have had this vision that I was supposed to play some role in bringing heaven to earth. Of course, it's been fine-tuned as I got older and read more and studied more. I realized that things that I was taught as a boy were very limiting and very judgmental of anybody that wasn't in our group. And that's the way most humans are raised. It's us against them, whoever they are. Of course, that creates conflict, and people say, well, that's just the way it is. That's human nature. Well, I don't believe it's human nature. I have seen evidence of humans doing very good things, especially when the chips are down, 9/11 being a case in point, how people were helping people, and there was such empathy and such compassion that was being actively demonstrated in the face of a terrible crisis. Is that what we need to awaken us, a terrible crisis? Crises, to me, is what the deep state continues to push for. They want elimination, as I have said in a recent video and in other videos about the Georgia Guidestones. They want to eliminate 6.5 billion people at least, assuming that there are 7 billion people on Earth. I mean, I believe that that number is somewhat accurate. I see what they're doing in Australia, and I can't even reach some of my Australian friends that I've communicated with regularly, a few years at least. There's been, since before Christmas, there's been no communication with the one person that I've communicated with the most from Australia, and I don't have any idea what happened to her or her family. She's been a very close friend, and I can't reach her. I don't know how to reach her. She's not responding. I called the what I thought was her, but it was the African orphanage that I'm helping to support, that she helped me or directed me toward supporting this group that was helping the orphan kids that were killed as a result of, in many cases, being vaccinated with poisons that ultimately killed parents, there's just, folks, there's insanity all over the planet. And it's evident in the United States. I mean, this nation is being torn apart, torn apart. Friends that that have gone to the same church that I did are on absolutely opposite political viewpoints. And I wonder how much of the religious viewpoints they would agree upon. I don't know. There is such a rending, tearing apart of our culture. And I keep praying to God. And as I've said so many times, praying for God to take responsibility. Am I getting any answers from God, or that seem to be from God? If I am, they're not getting through. I'm not hearing what I am looking for. I'm not finding what I'm seeking. I'm not getting what I'm asking. I'm knocking, but the door is not opening for me. So the promises that I thought were true since I was a little boy aren't working. Nothing is working for me. Nothing is working. Yes, I'm still reasonably healthy, but I still reject all prescription drugs and take only natural supplements and vitamins and things like that. I do what I can to stay alive and to stay healthy. But the more I look at what's going on around me, the more depressed I tend to feel. Even when I meditate and cry out in the silent cries of my heart, there is no relief. There is no relief. So I'm feeling increasingly hopeless. I'm feeling that we as humanity have been abandoned by our Creator. And I know that religion is not part of the solution. It simply divides us into egocentric camps, each claiming to be the right one. That's nonsense. Love is the only thing that could possibly work. But how can we arrive at love if we can't first come to the truth that we've been deceived, that we've been misled, misguided? Everything has been corrupted on this planet. And the dark forces, whatever you want to label them as, are responsible. But above that, the Creator, if there is an original God, is the most responsible of all for having even allowed the world to fall into the depravity that we see in the world around us, where people cannot seem to come together. Will it take another more massive 9/11 to awaken humanity? Well, remember, that woke a lot of people up, at least temporarily, but there was a considerable loss of life. And what we're talking about for the worldwide thing would be even a more significant loss of life. What's going on? How do we stop it? What's the answer? There are no spirit or religious solutions. There are no political solutions unless our Creator takes responsibility for creation. And I'm not so certain anymore that that's going to happen in my lifetime. That is very, very sad for me. Thank you for listening, and namaste.